Well, soybean farmer Charles Canatella in Melville, Louisiana, says he has not seen any measurable rainfall since July 5th.
That's following the 5th wettest May on record for Louisiana. So after the USDA declared a disaster for nearly half the parishes in the state because of rain and flooding, could we see another disaster declaration because of drought?
This is what Natchitoches Parish looked like in June, fields covered in water from the Red River, following one of the wettest Mays on record in terms of rainfall. Now the water is gone from these fields, and they're not seeing much rain.
We go from this wet, relatively cool spring in which a number of parishes are dealing with so much water that they get federal support. Then we flip into a very dry spell. June, just about average for much of the state, and then July comes. And not only is it dry, but it is extraordinarily hot. One of the hottest Julys on record. In fact, one of the hottest months on record going back 100 years or more.
Jay Grimes is the chief meteorologist for WAFB-TV in Baton Rouge and is a former state climatologist. He uses maps like these to demonstrate the lack of rainfall in Louisiana. This map shows the departure from normal rainfall over the last 30 days. The deep reds covering most of the state mean those areas received a quarter of the normal rainfall or less. And aside from the areas right on the coast, pretty much the whole state has had less than half the normal rainfall for July going into August.
Most of the state is looking at rainfall over the last 3 weeks that is well under an inch at a time where we typically would expect as much as 5 to 6 inches of rain in the southern parishes and at least 2 to 3 inches in the northern part of the state.
This has been a very strange year.
Louisiana Commissioner of Agriculture and Forestry, Dr. Mike Strain, says even though the drought tool developed by LSU and the University of Oklahoma shows much of the state in the highest level of drought over the last 30 days, it may not be enough to trigger a federal disaster declaration.
The disaster declarations for drought go by the drought index. It's a fairly automated system that look at the overall conditions of the soil, and then we combine that again with what we have at harvest. And so we may be asking for a second, time period. If you look at the disaster declaration, they cover a definitive time. And so we will probably be asking for more as we move forward, depending on the overall weather patterns.
According to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service, the highest rain concentration in the state came in the east central part at just more than 1.5 inches in the week ending August 2nd. Jay Grimes says that's just barely enough to keep up with soil moisture lost because of the extreme heat. So right now, farmers and ranchers are in desperate need of some rain. To access some of the maps you saw in my story, you can click over to our website at TWILA. TV.org.